Here.
Commissioner Meredith,
Here.
Commissioner Resnick,
Here.
Vice Chair Caption,
Here.
Chair Share.
Here. So we'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you've read the agenda. Is there a move to adopt the agenda to go forward?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Approval of minutes.
May I just really quickly note that the incomplete copy of the minutes have been attached to the agenda, and Samantha, Park and Rec Director Holland, has put them on your dais here, the revised complete minutes.
Okay.
You may have noticed.
I noticed quite a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the complete version for your review. You can either approve it at this meeting or take time to review it and approve it at a later date.
Okay, well, the first thing I see is under roll call that you have me absent.
I know. So there was an error in the system where you're listed twice under the settings. There's a ghost one in there and then a real one, so that has definitely been corrected.
Okay, but it is on the one in our packet.
In your packet, correct. And then
Okay.
the revised version, it's up on your dais seat, so it's going to be unstapled. Let's see.
Oh, you handed it to me. Did I put it down somewhere else?
Is it right over there?
Nope, it's right here.
It's been a busy day.
I know it has.
Imagine.
Then the other thing I don't see correct, unless, are these the revised ones?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Distracted by Brad in the hallway, and that's for his sake. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam.
So, all right.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Now,
Okay. You mind if we just take a minute to?
Please take your time.
So just a quick question, Hillary. Is it just because of everything that's going on now that the minutes don't reflect the email I sent you?
The minutes are action minutes now, and I can include that if you want me to, but there should be action minutes and not verbatim.
Okay, so should I then start supplying them for the agenda?
So that was always the goal of that, and I think if we can get those reports out in the agenda, that's great.
If you prefer it, yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
I'll do that. It just could be that a couple things may be missing because sometimes things happen, but we'll just
Yeah.
put it in the next month's.
And then, you can always, when we transitioned up here, because I did very detailed minutes when we weren't televised and recorded. Since we're televised and recorded now, if you ever want to go back and hear something more in detail, you can do that really
Okay,
easily.
so it's fine then to then insert them if I get it in
Ahead of time. Yep.
Perfect, okay,
Yep.
we'll do that then.
I think
Thank you.
it's valuable.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. As I said, I just waited because so many things happen at the end of the week, and I wanted it to be complete, but I think it's a better way to do it early.
Sorry.
Okay, so is there a move to approve the amended minutes?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Do we have any public comment? Any people showing up?
We did not have any public comment.
And no one is,
I wasn't noticed that anybody would be coming, and no electronic public comment either.
okay, thank you. Sam?
Yes.
Administrative items.
Awesome. Sorry, we have a lot going on at one time in our communications person needs to step out. All right, so we are going to go over the draft budget, and I just wanted to thank you all very much. I know for some of you on multiple subcommittees, that was a time-consuming endeavor, but I definitely think it's going to pay off. And so I hopefully when you saw the draft document, you felt like everything that we had discussed was captured. And if not, this is the time to talk about it. And just as a reminder, we're going into our first 2-year budget cycle. And so this is really our work plan for the next 2 years. So starting in July through June of 2024, July of 2024 through June of 2025, and then 2025 to 2026. So we really have to view that as this. It doesn't mean that we can't move things around if new opportunities come up, but it has to still fit within the numbers unless it's something that we want to go back to council for a budget adjustment on. So if there's something, a new endeavor or an opportunity that comes up that we're really interested in, we can go back and ask for a budget adjustment, but that takes time too. So it's not something we can fast track. It's just not how the system works. So starting on the first page, this is, and again, you may have, in the past, I kind of split the budget up into general fund, and then you would look at the Town of Yountville Community Foundation, and then you would look at the art fee fund. This is now all a general fund budget because we're only going to use the TOYCF funds as needed, or if something comes up for a sculpture purchase or something like that. We have exhausted the Fund 23, so the Art Walk fee fund, and we don't have a lot of money coming into that, and so we're just going to assume that funding is not going to be there for the next 2 years. So we're really only focusing on the general fund. So I just want to talk about that. So this first page is just marketing, general marketing support. So I met with Noelle, our marketing committee, Marita. I think you weighed in a little bit, but you weren't there that day, and Rhonda. And we decided, so this is outside of any of the marketing budgets for the specific programs, but to have some money there for writer support. So if we wanted to hire a professional writer to do some work for us, more on a broad scale, and then graphic design work on more of a broad scale. So the next is the performing arts and other events. So I kind of changed the title of the performing arts subcommittee a little within this budget document because it does expand out more than that just based on a lot of the things that we've been doing. So this encompasses the legacy roundtables, which the plan is for 4 of those a year. The Scarecrow contest, and then decor on the plaza. Yountville Days Parade, talking about a future spring contest or decor for the plaza at the community center, a movie in the park, and then pop-up music on the plaza. And so this budget is just over $14,150 for performing arts and other events. And then we do charge for the legacy roundtables, so some revenue coming in for that. Jeffrey did note that those two numbers don't add up, $6,400 and $9,400, so I'll make that correction somewhere. I pulled down $3,000 from somewhere, so.
And if I can note, I think it's well to be aware of what our budgets were last year. Mm-hmm. So I noted them. I don't know if you have them handy, Sam, but last year your budget was $4,700, and this year you're $14,150.
Yeah. Oh, well, I have not approved this. I mean, I have approved this, but the council has to approve this. Right. So I will make that a revenue correction on there. That was incorrect. Any other questions or thoughts on that one?
I noticed that the Christmas trees have been deleted. Is that correct?
We can talk about that, or we can talk about it now. We
Yeah.
talked about it, and we thought since the town does so much decoration, we were thinking about moving it to a spring contest.
I
Judy,
think
is
that's
your
a
mic
great
on?
idea.
Is your mic on? There we go. No. Green.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, so in what we decided to, there's a lot of ideas on how to kind of improve the decorations on the plaza. So that's budgeted under Parks and Rec, just because it makes more
And
sense.
what we really want to do, and I don't know, we can talk about this later, is we thought this would be great to tie in with the Mustard Festival.
Oh, great.
And that we could get extra legs with having another contest or
Yeah.
Yeah,
function.
I think it's a great idea.
But the trees, kind of were a hit or miss. So I think that evolution's great. They really didn't hold up well in the weather. They were blowing over all the time. Lights weren't working. And so I think it's a great concept, but I love the idea of doing, budgeting for that big lighted thing and, really just having the focus be on that big tree. So,
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
yeah. All right. So under Art Walk, so again, this would have generally been in that fund, Art Walk fee fund, but we've seen the slowdown in the commercial building projects. So we are requesting this funding from the general fund. There's some ideas on revenue sources, but you'll still see this as a expense, and we're budgeting $30,800 for next year. But based on maybe some future conversations with the TID or other things, we may see some revenue source coming in attached to that. So, but that's really an unknown at this time. So we're budgeting, with Rhonda spent a lot of time looking at what's rotating off, and we're budgeting for 6 sculptures in the next fiscal year. And that would be all the costs that potentially could be associated with that, as well as the marketing, which we pay for the Art Walk tour, the audio tour, and then any graphic design updates or the printing of the maps all comes out of that same fund or same line. Any questions there? Okay.
Rhonda, does this mean the sculpture is a yes, the sphere?
We're not going to talk about it at this meeting since we're budgeting for it in the next year and the budget has not been approved. So,
It'll come back.
yeah, it'll come back. And he's patient, so, yeah. Thank you. So last year on the Art Walk, we budgeted $1950 and we spent more than that, so.
Yes.
So this budget looks pretty nice and accurate, I think.
Yeah. And then next is the gallery. So I met with Cindy and we're looking at the 6 gallery shows a year and with the receptions and marketing. So that budget is just over $10,000. Any questions on that one?
It was $7,300 last year.
And then we move on to literary, and Jeffrey's not here, but we did have a great meeting, and he put together a really good written outline of everything. So offered there would be the bookmark story contest again, and literary events ×3, so that's some sort of author event. He'll continue with the improv classes and celebration at the end, and then the writing celebration class with the party at the end. And then the ekphrastic poetry for the sculptures. So that's kind of reinvigorating that program where we tie poetry to our Art Walk sculptures, and Cindy puts it on the audio tour as well. Handwritten out loud we have listed as a program, but there's no expense to Yountville Arts for that at this time. And then Yountville Out Loud. And so just over $12,000 there. We did budget a little over $3,700 in revenue. And you might notice that the cost of supplies is quite high there. And that's, we have a lot of things pending right now with PJ's author and movie/book idea. So we think that there may be a higher cost to that event. And then also most likely we would charge for that event. So there'd be some revenue attached. So,
Last year, our whole budget was $3,700.
yeah, for literary, yeah. So quite an increase there. And then Art Sip and Stroll. So that's mainly me plugging in numbers based on last year's expenses. So we are looking at just over $60,000 there. And then we do budget, we make a little bit more than we spend there. We estimate $66,000 in revenue.
It's a little under what we had for this year. Is that what you intended?
It is. So that is because I dropped the equipment rental slightly because we're not doing the tasting pavilions anymore. And the one at Veterans Park was a big expense to put the floor in the big tent in. So I did drop that budget a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then next is the mustard celebration, which I did correct that, but in this packet, that's not corrected because I put Mustard Festival. I don't know if it says that in your packet or not.
Yeah, it says
Okay.
celebration.
Okay, good. So it's just the one on the screen that's wrong. I did correct it. So we discussed joining with the chamber and doing one Yountville event. So we would do a kickoff event and with partnership with the chamber, but I don't know if you're aware, you probably are. So we do our big show and our huge art opening, and then the chamber has been doing another mustard celebration event later in the month, and we discussed partnering together, and Whitney was very supportive of that and just doing one larger scale Yountville event around our gallery opening. So we have a budget for that, and then potential revenue for that because they do it ticketed and charge a fee. And the nice thing about that is it helps us with capacity. But we discuss making sure that our artists receive a certain amount of free entries and that type of thing, so that we're also, focused on the artists, focus on them not feeling like, they're not getting the reception they're used to as well. So we did increase the budget there, or add that budget. And then, of course, the Find Your Heart, which we know is so successful. I know we're going to have a new glass artist going into next year, it sounds like, which is exciting.
We do.
Yeah, so a little budget there. So just over $9,000 there with some revenue.
And that warms my heart because we had nothing last year.
No, no. So budget totals, which is just incredible, $141,000 in expenses. That revenue number will come down just slightly because of my error, $3,000 error above. So we offset that quite a bit. So I just did want to point out the things that we, as you know, as you were reading this, the things that we're including in here include part-time staffing. What it doesn't include is full-time staffing. And so I've never been allocated to Yountville Arts. It's just part of Parks and Rec in the town. I am asking for a new, it's not really a new position. It will be back to what we were fully staffed before COVID. And so half of that new recreation coordinator, their time will be Yountville Arts. So we see this budget total now, but when it goes to council, that 50% position will also be included in the budget.
Is this in addition to Danielle, or is this the position?
So Danielle's, she's just temporary part-time right now, so that position won't be needed any longer, and we'll transition into a full-time person that is 50% of their time is allocated to Yountville Arts, supporting your programs and marketing and all of that.
And the other 50% is Parks and Rec?
Yeah, so the other 50% is mostly events and marketing for the department, is how I have it structured. And I'm not going anywhere, so it'll just be nice, to have that person who has the same philosophy as me, which is like, we make the dreams come true. We find a way. And it'll just help, though, with, you guys know how much you've grown over the past few years. It's incredible, and I don't want to ever stifle that. And so having extra support there, I think, is just going to benefit all of us, so.
Did you identify that person already?
No, so I think Jennifer Carvalho retired, and so we are doing some restructuring within our department, and we will start a recruitment in the next couple weeks, hopefully, for a recreation coordinator, and then and that would be an immediate fill, not for arts. And then after July 1, as long as the council approves this, I'm really hoping we get a very strong candidate list from that recruitment. So then in July, I'm able to offer to another candidate from that really quickly. So, but I don't have a person yet. We have to go through an open recruitment. Yes.
I'm glad you're putting it out there so
Yeah.
soon and get.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope we get a great pool, so then it's easy, and I don't have to reopen it again in July and go through all that again. But, I want to find the right person.
So then part-time staffing now will disappear, and then we'll go into the full-time staffing, or will we
All of
continue
the
with-
part-time staffing you see here, which is like really hands-on event support, like Karen that does all our receptions, that is still here. It's just the part-time marketing support, which is now, what Danielle is filling,
Right.
that we won't fund anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was temporary to begin with. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to go in as much detail through 25, 26 because it's really just an incremental increase over the prior year with the exception of one area, which is the art walk. And that did decrease because in Rhonda's analysis with what will be rotating, it's only 5 sculptures in that second year. So that number came down a little bit and that resulted in a little bit of a savings there. But everything else, we just increased incrementally. I'm estimating 5% on supplies and costs such as that. So, and then, like I said, as we move forward, they'll basically, I kind of, you're all probably hearing this redundantly because I said it in our individual meetings, but we'll basically have 3 mid-year budgets. And what happens there, and a lot of times it's behind the scenes and you guys don't see it, but monthly, I'm looking at all of these things. And so as we go into the mid-year, finance says, you need to submit any changes that you might have. And so if I'm seeing we're running really high in an area or something's changed or we really want to do something new that's not in the budget, that's my opportunity to say, I would like to request a budget adjustment and this is why.
That would be in December?
So we do it in December, probably the end of December, early January. And then again, before the new budget year, most likely in June, going into the new budget, and then December, and then June. So we have a little bit of that flexibility.
And the money, if there's any money left, it disappears and we start all over.
Yes, so we don't roll things over. The one exception to that is when you sell art. So when you sell art, anything that you sell, our commission basically is what we put into the foundation at the end of the year, and that won't change. That will continue to be the same.
So when does the council consider this?
So we have a series of budget, what do we call them?
Workshops?
Budget workshops. Thank you, ex-council member Doran Becker. Budget workshops. So the first one is technically on Tuesday at the meeting, but that's really just laying out the timeline and parameters with the council. And so I don't have the dates in front of me, but I'll let you know there's a date where it is my day, Parks and Rec, and I present all of this to them. They don't see typically this line item. They see the whole, but I will make sure to keep you in the loop if you want to be here.
So they're public?
Absolutely, the public is invited.
Yeah, if you would let us know.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. So what the council sees is that is kind of that like detail report that you guys, but it's not even that detailed. They're just seeing big buckets of money. That, arts costs this. And, under Parks and Rec budget, I have 7 categories, which Yountville Arts is one of them, and they see it like that. So, but it's good. I always bring the details just in case they're, in the narrative I write that these are all the things that we're doing that year.
So by our next meeting, we will know if we got this or didn't?
No, we will not know till April, mid-April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the council will do the final budget adjustment in mid-April. I will take this. I have a series of meetings prior to that. I meet with the town manager and the finance director after they get all of the payroll numbers in. And then they look at the town as a whole because we have to present by law a balanced budget. And so there might be a chance that they'll come back and say, we got to cut some of this or figure this out. But I don't know that until we get everything assembled. So by the end of this week, all of my numbers I have to put into the system. So today was the first step towards that. And then in a few, probably at least a month to 6 weeks, it takes for finance to assemble the entire town budget. And then we look at it from there. Yeah.
So at the end of all of that, and whether this goes through or there are adjustments made, will you be able to give us one final?
Yes.
Like this? So
It'll
that we
look
can
just like this. I'm trying to figure out a way, and I think I can work on it with finance so that some of the reports that Springbrook, which is our financial software, spits out are more categorized like this. I think we can I can figure something out. So that as we move forward, it's easier for me to help track like what exactly got spent for this and this. Because right now, because of the buckets, like it takes me significant work to, pull out just what we spent on this or that.
Well, if we're mindful of of these numbers, then I would envision, if I was planning something, say, for performing arts, it just happens to be up, and it was maybe something that was not scheduled, I would come to you and say, here's what I want to do. I've got, it's going to cost this, this, and this. Can we pull it out of here, and can we whatever?
Yeah.
As long as we stay within the framework, and then we keep track of what that commitment is to the end, so that if you projected you're going to make $10, then at the end you need to make $10, and
Yeah.
any of that. But at least we'll have something like this that's really helpful.
Yeah,
to know
and I
what we
think
have.
it's funny because it's almost, and Steve's always kind of said this, this commission is different because you really are kind of an extension of staff. And so I think about that, and what I ask of my team is to do really this, but in more detail. And so then when they come back and ask questions mid-year, like, oh, well, what can I spend on that? And I say, well, go back and pull up your budget sheet and see what you had allocated for that. So then it helps us to just everybody stay on the same page. Yeah.
It's a great way to look at it. And now that and thank you again for including us in the
Yeah.
conversations. Now we understand where these numbers came from. Yeah. and which for, obvious reasons we didn't need to be included before, but it's really helpful. And I know it's helpful for me to see all of them. We're a busy group.
And can I ask Sam, is there like if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yes. Yeah, so it's with anything that's general fund funded at the end of the year, it just goes back into the general fund. Yeah. But, we can reprogram it, so let's say you decide to do 2 legacy roundtables, but you want to do something else. Like, we can always reprogram money. But yeah, if we don't use it, it goes back. Yeah.
Do gallery sales go into the community foundation as well? Or?
Yes, so eventually, yes. So all of our sales, and I'll show you, like when you see our budget report here, and right here it says art sales revenue. So all of our revenue for the gallery and for the art walk goes into those specific accounts. So the revenue and then the expense. So whatever's left here at the end of the year is what we transfer into the foundation. Yeah, which is basically the commission we make.
I'll be tracking the $8.
Yes, the $8, exactly.
$8.
Thank you for being so honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do ask for a vote on this just for officiality before I bring it forward to the council, so they're just well aware that you have all reviewed and approved.
Is there a move to approve this drafted budget?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I think a thank you to you, Sam, for endorsing and supporting all the work we've been doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think I do feel that the council will be very supportive. I mean, most of these things you're obviously already doing. It's just I'm really amplifying that, and then building my team back up to better support it. So
That'll be great. It will be a relief if we get these numbers, because we do care, and we do watch them carefully. So that would be a great thing for us. Okay, thank you again, Sam, for everything. Do you want to go over this?
I just have a question. I'm sorry. This is going a little backwards, but what about the travel? Where does travel come out of?
Oh, yes.
I didn't see it in the art walk.
I did not put that on here, but that will be under just general Yountville Arts admin. But we discussed that, and it will be rebudgeted. Yeah. But thank you. That's a good reminder.
Thank you. So that's the $2,500 it was? Okay.
Yeah, the travel stipend. And then we also budget a little bit in case, like, you want to go to a regional meeting. Like, sometimes Arts Council has meetings that are $25 or whatever. So, yeah, that's definitely in there. It's not, I didn't include it on the program sheets, though. But, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Good catch.
Excuse me. Before we move on, I thought I'd bring to your attention some news that I just received, and that is that PG&E says it'll be 6 a.m. before they,
6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
Yeah, I just got a,
Oh, no.
yeah, I got that a minute ago. So
Anyway, sorry.
we'll be open till 10.
You'll be open at 6?
No, we'll be open till 10 tonight at the community center, and then we'll reopen tomorrow morning.
Because
Yep.
somebody just hustled right over there.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to stay open. All right.
God bless you, Sam.
Again, thank you guys for all your effort on this. I think it's really exciting to see how we are evolving, the commission, and
Well, we appreciate you
Team.
involving us.
Yeah.
It's been a great learning curve, so.
look at all the exciting things you're doing. It's so impressive for a volunteer commission. I mean, really, I'm grateful, and I know the community is. So
You make our dreams happen.
I make your dreams come true.
That's right, you do.
That's my philosophy. How do I make what they want happen? All right. What's next? That passed unanimously. Thank you.
No, thank you for bringing that up. Did you want to go through the?
Oh, the art fund report
balance?
is
Yeah,
next.
it's up to you, Sam.
Yes. So the first page in that report was the Town of Yountville Community Foundation. We did transfer $10,000 to the art fund, the Art Walk fund. So your balance there is just over $52,000. And then the Yountville Arts, the 015415, that's the next page, is the general fund budget. There's not a whole lot of money coming in or out there on the first line because that is mostly where Art Sip and Stroll comes in and out. And then I feel like, oh, this next line is interesting. I don't recall it saying that before. It's the same thing, basically. It's just showing what we've approved as the town council approved $53,000 subsidy. I think he changed the way that's laid out, and it's confusing me. But yeah, basically, we don't see this even up until Art Sip and Stroll, when most of our money comes in and most of it goes out. Below that is art sales. So we've sold sculpture, and I don't believe there's no, you won't see in here yet because this is as the end of December. We've had sold 2 pieces in the current show, and so you don't see that yet.
3 with the scarf.
3 with the scarf. Sorry, yes, 3 now. Yes. And then under that, you'll see the public art program fee fund, that restricted fund. We have just over, at the end of December, we had just over 10,000, but we have paid out a couple things. So that is probably, I would say, as of right now, at or under 7,000. So, and that was after we moved 10,000 into it. So that's
So
it.
if at the end of the year we don't use that, that goes back into the community fund. We're not going to lose that, are we?
The 7,000.
The 10,000 we moved over.
No, it won't go anywhere. Most likely we'll just leave it in that restricted fund until it starts making money again, and then you can use it for the art walk, to sustain the art walk. And that's one of the things I should have mentioned under. So we're funding the art walk through the general fund, but then there could be revenue sources attached to that. Like I said, the TID, if for some reason we get a huge influx of money into that restricted fund, that could be shown as a revenue source too. So we may, if we get a bunch of big scale projects that come in, we may use some of that restricted fund money for the art fund to fund the art walk. And it's just a lot of moving pieces, but yeah. It doesn't go anywhere. It will be there for the art walk. Yes.
Into next year, if it,
Absolute. Yep. Forever.
in addition to what we just asked for.
Exactly. Yes. In addition. All right.
Okay,
Any other questions about that?
thank you, Sam.
Absolutely.
All right, Art Walk. So in general, just a few things. Right as soon as the art walk map was being delivered, Ivan called and wants to remove the reinvention. He has a sale up in Oregon for it. So it's already outdated a little bit, but just know that if somebody wants a reinvention, we'll get them one if they see it on the art walk map. So I hope you all are looking at it. It turned out really beautiful, I think, along with our art walk. The
We
real
should
map.
use that to our advantage, though, in terms of the sold,
Yeah, good.
some kind of way in terms of marketing it, so it's even
And that would
more
be true.
attractive to other
It's sold,
artists.
right?
Yeah, sold. Taken away.
So the absence of that sculpture probably will not be missed. Sam and I discussed, first of all, we don't have any replacements scheduled through the end of this fiscal year. But it's also a pad that has issues, the sap that drips onto the sculpture from the trees. This is the second time Ivan has had a sculpture there, and he's well aware of it, but he still hasn't finished cleaning off the one that was there before this one. So it's hard to find a sculpture that's sap resistant, which doesn't mean we would abandon the pad indefinitely, but for now, I don't feel pressured to replace it. We'll just cover it up and let it go for a while. Unless you have any objections to that. The only other thing is the hatch sculpture, which is the fish that's in Vandeleur Park, is in really poor condition. Peter Hazel, you may know, he's the artist. He also did the butterflies. He has two big sculptures in the Napa Lighted Art Festival. They're right on the riverfront, and so he's in and out of Napa. So I talked to him about removing the sculpture, and that we would only be interested in a replacement of something similar, since it's a riverbed and it fits that park so nicely. So he said, yes, this isn't going to happen overnight, so not too worried at this point about it falling into this year's budget, which we don't have. So I'll just continue to work with him on picking it up, taking it out, and then he'll work on a replacement, and that won't happen until after the new budget comes into play, and then I'll revisit it with you. And that's the art walk. Cindy?
Oops. So we have the gallery subcommittee schedule down, which is there for everybody to see. We have the Heart of Friendship show that ends on the 29th. And then Andrea Cazares is following that for basically the month of April. Arts of the Stroll. What's next? Frank Trazo and Pamela Anderson, and then the youth art exhibit. So we had a subcommittee meeting, and we're starting to kind of pencil in 2025, believe it or not. But we have a full schedule this year, and I think it's going to be really cool. So all the dates are there, and Thanksgiving.
Quick question for you. I noticed your name is on some, Rhonda's name is,
Yeah,
is
those
that
are
just who our point person is on each show?
Yeah, essentially they're the producers, and next year Jeffrey will probably have more of a role in this. That's it.
Thank you. I love this chart. I hope you'll include that every time, just as a reminder. Okay. Rita, I understand you're going to be delivering the literary committee
I am
report.
indeed. So Jeffrey is not here and asked me to do this, so I'll be happy to. So the bookmark series contest, stories contest, was a happy ending, and we got wonderful pictures, and it was very well attended. We had about 43 people who came to
see the bookmark awards. So we were very happy about that. And so we're talking about having it again next year. Hasn't been finalized, but we're thinking about it. And Jeffrey's so great, I'll have to say. So he already did some work on the flyers and press releases for the improvisation series sessions and for the final performance for the poet laureate conversation. And he sent them to me. I'm looking at them. They look good. And I was going to, there are a couple that need a little embellishment visually, and I'm going to take care of that or pass them along to Sam after we figure that out. And, but all of those 3 events will begin and take place in March for the, both the Poet Laureate, the Writing Celebration gatherings, and the improv sessions.
So in your edits, Marita, sorry, in your edits, I noticed that there's no Yountville Arts logo on the
Yes.
writing celebration.
Yeah, that's what I noticed also.
Okay, great.
And then,
Do you run these by Sam? Yeah, okay,
yeah,
great.
I send everything to Sam, sorry.
I just got them for the packet, but I knew they were draft form, so.
So Jeffrey's also has been talking to about handwritten at Jessup Sellers. Before he left, he let me know that they have agreed, and in April, we'll have another handwritten at Jessup Sellers event.
Handwritten out loud.
At handwritten, excuse
At
me.
handwritten, yeah, okay. So that's great. All of this is great.
And then he created a flyer about the ekphrastic poetry for art sculptures that has begun to be distributed around the valley to poets and writing groups and a writing teacher at Vintage High School. So we want to encourage new and additional poetry works to be added to the Yountville Art Walk. Marianne Lyon has agreed to help develop a chapbook of the poetry along with photos of the accompanying artwork that will be printed and available at Art Sip and Stroll. And that's about it, although with Jeffrey, he's very fertile and has a lot of great ideas. So we will see.
But it sounds like it's all being
great.
supported. So Sam, you, I guess everything's been going directly to you and you've been seeing all this stuff that's going out?
Nothing's gone out. I mean, some of this was included in the rec guide already.
Oh, okay.
But the flyers and stuff haven't gone out yet.
Okay.
No, there hasn't been. I think he's working on a press release as well.
Okay, great.
But we kind of I was trying to get ahead of it in the rec guide too. So a lot of it has gone out, but not in these forms.
Okay.
That's
Super.
I have a question. This is not the best question in the world. Okay, the Heritage Room, the Generations Room, the Founders Room. Is the Generations Room the Founders Room?
The Generations Room is the gym.
Oh, the gym.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sounds like wine clubs.
I didn't pick the names. That was done before me.
Well, thank you for a great report, Marita, and please tell Jeffrey how much support he has from us.
absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Okay, if there are no more questions from Marita, we'll move on to Noelle.
All right, we've been marketing away this past month, starting with the gallery, Heart of Friendship. We've been getting lots of support from the Chamber newsletter, Canvas, Nextdoor, Napa Life, which is different from Napa Valley Life. Rhonda, I'm going to let you talk about all the things that you've been involved with, which is Paul Franson and also the Yountville Sun. And we've had a lot of great things going through your relationships.
Well, thank you, but the Yountville Sun has been extremely supportive, as you know. It's been on the calendar. Kim ran the opening press release twice. Paul has run it, I think, at least 3 times in Napa Valley Life. The newsletter, it's been everywhere, which is really nice. It's really well supported. People, I'd say editors, love all the heart Yountville has. So that primarily, I'm speaking of the gallery shows. Now on Find Your Heart, same thing. It's going out everywhere. I don't know, Cindy, did you get the feeling people were out on? Oh, that's great, super. So anyway, we've had a lot of support. We actually made it into this publication, which is the Highway 29 publication, which I'm really happy to see. They get a lot going on, and so it was great to see that. What am I leaving out, Noelle? I think
Is this one Hearts and Arts in Yountville? Was this the one that was Hearts and Arts? Which I love.
think-
I mean, they've just
yes.
been jumping on it.
Yes, it was.
Hearts
Yes,
and
Hearts
Arts
and
in
Arts in
Yountville.
Okay.
And, yeah, so Heart of Friendship, it's been wonderful. We've been getting coverage, and multiple coverage from Chamber and also from Canvas. Then as far as Andrea, how do you pronounce her last name? I pronounce it Cazares. How about you? Is it not a little different? I want to be sure it's right.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we know who we're talking about. Lovely Andrea, who's going to be putting together a gallery show for April, but all the marketing materials are coming together. Thank you, Cindy, because you initiated a meeting for all of us to meet with her, and as a result of that, we were all inspired. We all got going, and we really have a jump start on that, considering the show is still a couple months away. So we'll be moving forward. Just a few missing pieces. We can't market too early. We can place in calendars immediately. As soon as we have flyers and things like that. No urgency, Sam. But it's really nice when we post to use that artwork, so there's continuity between all our marketing. So that should be coming soon enough.
I will have drafts to you this week.
That's great. That's great. So we'll get going with her.
Danielle will, I
She's
should say.
she's a lovely young woman. She also has relationships with Nimbus and with Mentis, and we've reached out to her to be sure that she checks into the possibilities of promoting through them. And we discussed that with her when we met with her, and she was all for it. So we'll see if the organizations also can support that, but she's certainly on our side with that and pushing it through that way, which will be really nice. The way I see it is it's a real win-win for everybody, because by that cross-promotion, we're bringing all of our Yountville arts and Yountville awareness to their organization. So I hope that all moves forward. Find Your Heart is back again. More things. The Chamber newsletter has been loving it. They've been putting out multiple listings, and then they also sent out a destination Valentine's Day a newsletter email, and that was listed in something to do in terms of enjoying the town. Absolutely. And Rhonda showed you the Yountville Sun insert, Hearts and Arts in Yountville, so lots going on. Art Walk, this is really interesting. Holidays in Yountville, our gift guide catalog. Even if we don't sell things, I mean, it's a great promotional hook. It's a great catalog for us. It really works well. But I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to look at this, but in terms of awareness, being part of Holidays in Yountville, we had over 919,000 impressions. Between November 19th and January 1st in the Google network of display ads. So that includes the gift guide. So people, yes, wow. Because Holidays in Yountville is very popular and is really getting pushed out. And this was just Google Ad Network, so that's close to 1 million views. And when people get it, and there's a high open rate, when they get it, they're looking at it, okay, maybe not everybody's ready to drop thousands and thousands of dollars on a piece of artwork, but at the same time, they're seeing Yountville Art Walk, and I think it's really good promotion, not just for Yountville, but certainly for the Arts Commission, so that was successful. Through Facebook and Instagram advertising, 190,000 views over that short amount of time.
For the catalog.
For holidays in Yountville, of which the catalog is part of it, because they go right to the website, and that's just right there as a big item, because it's really the gift guide and events that makes up holidays in Yountville. So the gift guide is a whole entity unto itself. Then through print advertising, the Yountville Sun, Wine Country Valley Marketplace, 65,000 views, and 38,000 visitors to Holidays in Yountville webpage, and a 44% average open rate of 11 email blasts sent to over 72,000 people. So the work that where we are connected with the chamber and they support us and we're supporting them with that great catalog and that great gift is really a win-win for all of us.
That's fantastic. And that all comes from the chamber.
That all comes from the chamber, yes, because they're the ones doing all the marketing for Holidays in Yountville, of which the catalog is a part of. And Art Sip and Stroll, we've completed the video, so now we have an updated video with new entries from last year's Art Sip and Stroll and some of our new artwork, so that's up. It's on the Call for Artists. Sam got it up there, and it's she's put it on the Art Sip and Stroll website, so that looks really nice when it goes out to people. Art Sip and Stroll will be coming up in the spring issue of Napa Valley Life. In the front, there'll be a paragraph and hopefully a photo. They have all the collateral material. Also, Rhonda has been working on print ads that were created for Napa Valley Marketplace, and we'll be advertising with them and receiving editorial content now throughout the year. Sam has integrated it into our budget. So in order to really get the most bang for our buck, when we buy advertising space, we'll get editorial back. So Sam's allotted for that. So that's going to be a new source for us to get viewers, and a lot of people look at that.
And the editorial doesn't necessarily have to be the same month the ad is running, nor the same event. So we might have an Art Sip and Stroll ad, but choose to run an article in the gallery, the next month.
Great.
We just have to get it to them.
And then Morita, through her connections, current and past in her career, she's been reaching out to broadcasters to see if we might get some editorial on the week before Art Sip and Stroll. Perhaps, I've noticed on ABC, I'm not sure about the others, what's happening this weekend type of segments, usually the Thursday or the Friday before a weekend. They talk about what's happening in the Bay Area. So she's working on a letter, and we're trying to put together something that could maybe almost be a template. If any of us have broadcast connections, we can fine-tune it. We can get all the information in the template part, but then we can personalize it. So she's been managing that and working really hard on that, so that's coming forth. Which will be nice.
Thank heavens for your help, darling. I gotta say.
A pleasure. But it's really relationships. Cold calling it is really difficult. Even our PR firm that works for the chamber will tell you that. But nevertheless, we're going to give it a shot again this year and see if we can't do that. The event has grown so much. It's certainly worthy of it, but we'll see what happens. And at the Yountville Chamber, I'm on the Yountville Chamber Marketing Committee also. This past month on February 1, there was a big conversation about Art Sip and Stroll going live, and that they're going to be looking for wine partners and helping to work with Sam to do that. And hold on a second, I just lost that. And also, there was a big conversation about Pride Celebration. Thank you, Sam, for having that conversation, because they're very excited, because now our gallery show is going to open Pride Week. And Rhonda, you were a very big part of that conversation also. So that's all looking really good. We have all of our parties on board. I think when we're all working together, we just get a lot more bang for our buck. And Sam has been continuing to post multiple email blasts and newsletters, which our newsletters, Sam, are just looking so beautiful. I think they're everything we had imagined they would be when we first started, so thank you.
Yeah, Danielle is doing that, and she's doing a great job, really.
Well, thank
just
you,
pulling
Danielle.
everything that we're doing and not
Yeah.
making it a big, source of impact and need from you guys. But if there's ever anything, obviously, you want change, just let us
Yeah,
know.
which is great. And then my next mention was Danielle, who's been working with us on posting in the calendars and next door, and obviously helping with the newsletter. So we're really moving on all cylinders, and I think with all the great content we have within Yountville Arts, we're really creating some buzz and stories. So we'll keep it up.
Thank you, Noel. Excellent report. Wonderful, thank you. And all the support from Marita and everybody.
Getting there a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Checking on your status.
We're still meeting.
We still have power. How about everybody else?
6 a.m. is
Yeah,
the
no, we
latest.
heard.
Yeah.
No, that's crummy. Sorry.
Okay, Judy, Performing Arts?
Sure. So first, we all talked about we're not going to do the Christmas. We're going to turn it to the spring. And Marita is no longer going to be part of our committee, but she's going to help us with all the marketing stuff. And she's working on a template so that we can give her press releases. We canceled the March date because we just couldn't get enough momentum going. And I went on vacation, and then PJ's on vacation. So as soon as she gets back, we're going to meet. We're planning in May. We just have to figure it out. We've got 3 different things that we want to do. Bartenders, we've reached out to them. We've reached out to artists, and we've also reached out to sommeliers. So we're going to do a MS one. So those are the 3 for the year. So we just have to coordinate what we each have and get it together and get that done. And then the other thing is Sam sent us out the template for the music in the park and also the art sip and stroll. And again, we've just been on 2 separate railroad tracks. So we're going to get together this week. She's going to show me how to do that, and I'll help her with that because apparently that's a lot of work to get all those artists together. And that's pretty much it.
Well, and just to digress for a quick second, thank you, Marita. I know you've been working with everybody outside of the gallery for marketing, and I just want to stress how important it is because the projects that we're not involved with, meaning if Rhonda's not involved with it, if I'm not involved with it, each of you, each of us even, if it's our project, we're the ones who have the most information and know what's going on. It's essential for the press release to start there.
Yeah.
And that's great. And then, and to really try, it doesn't have to be the press release, but it needs to really be the information and any compelling facts or any little fun tidbits you have that you want us to include, because that's the core of it, and nobody knows it as well as you do, and we'll get the best press release when we get the information right from you. So that's really great that Marita's helped you with that, and that we'll be getting that, so we can really stay on top of everything. So thank you.
Judy, did you get the,
I did, but I was on vacation.
I
so-
understand.
But yeah, she did send it to us, so
So
I'll get it to you, Marita.
take a look at it, and if you feel that there's something else you would like me to add, another line that will help you to, so it's just sort of an outline of
Yeah.
who, what, where, when, and how. And so I think that'll, especially if you haven't had the, the background of writing press releases, I think this will also help our members who haven't.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Jeffrey was doing all our press releases, but we didn't think that they were cheeky enough. And Rhonda and I had a meeting, and the last few that I got to you, I actually attempted on my own, but using the AI assistance. And that helped a lot, and that really helped bring some color into it. So I am not a writer, but I'll give you everything I have as soon as we get it.
Well, I appreciate that, and whatever you sketch out, please send me, and even if it's not an exact form, but so that I can look at it and I can be pretty What was the word? Sketchy?
Cheeky.
Oh, cheeky.
Sketchy.
We can always
be cheeky.
He can always add the gallery address and times and
Yes.
dates. No problem,
Yes.
but it's the content, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just the content to work with that's so
Yeah.
important. So
But that'll
it doesn't
really
matter
help.
who's writing it, but apparently you're writing it too.
And
so
include a quote by yourself.
Yeah?
I did do some
Quote
of those.
yourself, yeah.
And some from you and some from a lot of people.
I use myself only when I'm in a hurry for it because I'm available there, so I
Yeah,
can use
no.
it. But you have a title, and you should
Yeah.
get your name out, and images if you have any. Those two
Yes.
things.
And then you may have noticed when we went through the budget, one of the things that we've been talking about with Sam and we're going to pull the trigger on is a movie for adults. Not an adult movie, but a movie in the park for adults. So that, we'll get working on that.
Oh, why not?
And if you need support on the bands, like the music in the park dates and stuff, I'm happy to help too. So just
Thank
let me
you.
know how I can support.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that today and I just don't know where to go. But
Yeah.
again, PJ will be back tomorrow,
Yeah.
so we can.
If we could just pick them, I mean, I can do the whole contract reach out communication part. So I just need help picking them.
Yeah,
So yeah, if it lightens that load
that'll
a
be
little
fun.
bit.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
That's great. And I'm not sure whether it falls with performing arts or literary, but the book review on,
Oh, I think that's under literary.
is
and
it? Okay.
That was, she's talking about the author from Sideways.
Right,
Yeah.
I was curious, how, is that
Again,
another,
I
you don't know?
don't know.
We're looking for a new date. That was
yes.
the kind of the issue, was the date wasn't available, or I overlooked a conflict, and then, and so we're trying to find a new date. So that'll probably be it sounds like it probably will be in the summer or fall.
So I will tell you, yeah, PJ was looking for the fall. I will tell you that he did write a new book that's just coming out, and it showed up on my Facebook page today.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's going to help us or hurt us. So he wrote a Sideways in New Zealand.
So he might be on a book tour, but we'll see.
Yes. And this is totally off, but Sam, we have a brand underneath our umbrella that is actually supports the Pride Parade and all of
awesome.
those causes. So I
Okay.
will definitely be able to pour for you that day.
Yeah, and I could talk about, do you want me to talk about that a little bit? It's not really, it doesn't fall into this, but I don't know if we all were on that email. So I'm part of the planning committee for like Yountville Pride Festival, and I think we're calling it Yountville Pride Celebration, but we're focusing on a week long. So the chamber and just a bunch of different organizations. So we're going to do the Pride in the Park again. We're actually going to term it Pride. We're calling it Pride in the Park. The festival with music and activities, very family friendly. But it was exciting because they were talking about, we need something on the Monday to really kick off the week. And I had posed it to the gallery subcommittee about, what if we open the gallery and Yountville Arts hosted something, and it just gives the Chris Camerata more exposure, and he was on board and everybody was excited. So I know that Jeff and Joey already said that they would come and do food and wine, but I think having more partners is always better. So I'll definitely take you up on that. But we haven't really planned everything out, but we thought, indoor, outdoor, live music, just something really festive. So.
And do you think for that week we'll be able to manage to change the colors of the Yountville Arts logo?
Yes, so we're working
Pride
on that
colors?
already. Yes. My son is now Adobe Illustrator certified, so he's working on that.
All right.
Danielle took a shot at it too with some of the things we have, but I think he's going to do that for me. Yeah, and so as we move forward, we'll have a few probably little planning meetings around, what else we want to add to that. But that's what we were talking about.
So I do have one more thing, excuse me. So Judy, I wanted to talk with you about the artists for Legacy that you're thinking of doing. Is that correct? The Legacy artists? Bartenders, sommeliers,
yes.
and
So it
artists.
would be, master sommeliers, bartenders, and then the third one would be authors.
Oh,
Napa
authors.
authors.
I'm sorry. I thought you said it. Artist. Because I want to do an in-depth, more press release about sort of the artistic history of the Yountville Arts Commission. So I'll be speaking with
that.
you about that, okay? All of you.
Just so you know, before you take off on that, I'm not sure where you're going, but I'm also in conversations with Napa Valley Life about something like that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, great. All right, well then.
Profiling Yountville Arts and the Arts Commission.
Oh, cool.
And if everything is, I really didn't want to say anything yet because we're in the process, we're discussing it for the spring issue, above and beyond the Chris Camerata article and the postings, not the postings, but the front of magazine about Yountville Arts. But the reason I am saying it is so there's
Yeah,
no.
we don't bump
Just so
heads.
you know.
But I love that
I'm
we're.
not saying there
we're-
shouldn't be a press release or, I mean, all good and everything, but I've been supplying them with all kinds of information about what we're doing, about the history of Yountville Arts, about just all that sort of stuff. So we'll see where that all goes.
Great minds think alike.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great concept, so, and
It is.
you'll probably come around in different directions.
Absolutely, I totally agree because there's so much there, and also from different, attacking it in different ways. So by all means, more or less, just be aware, so
Yeah,
it's not like, what's
absolutely.
going on, we're both doing the same thing, or why didn't you tell me before I did all this work, and thank you for sharing.
Well, I'm delighted to find this out, and you are on top, honey.
Well, back to Pride for a moment. I talked to Whitney at the specific plan meeting, and we decided that we would try to get together after Valentine's Day. So I'm sure, Sam, you would want to be involved in that, I would imagine.
Yes, please.
And then, so we'll see. I don't, do marketing want, does,
For Pride? Yeah, absolutely.
so we'll get that and maybe have a more detailed report. It's June, so.
Yeah.
It's June.
Yep.
I'd like to be at that meeting as well. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's really, as a matter of clarification, we are hosting in the gallery, and we are supporting,
Yes.
but it's their project. It's the Pride Celebrations project, correct?
It's not, it's our project.
It's our
I
project.
offered us up as that, yeah.
Who's responsible for marketing it, just so we know, because if.
Oh, so there will be an effort for marketing through the chamber. So
Great.
it's Pride Celebration Week in Yountville, so they'll take the lead on a lot of that.
So-
And then they combine, like they get the businesses who are doing something special. They build a whole Pride page on their website and then help market all that too.
Okay, so just if at any point it feels like it's getting too complex, too
Yeah.
many people, we should manage it appropriately because
Yeah.
everybody's time is very valuable, and to pull a large group of people together is all often.
Yeah, I
difficult.
don't see this as a big lift. I really see it as maybe a little bit of a glorified art reception where we have some more live music and maybe one or two more vendors on the plaza or in the outdoor area. And that's why I kind of offered it up because I was like, wow, it gets Chris more exposure. It's fun. It's a way for Yountville Arts to be involved. So I don't see it as a huge lift. And the marketing piece, really, the chamber's gonna take a lot of
Yeah,
that.
and so just know we're enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Just keep us in the loop. But if
Yeah,
the meeting
absolutely.
is getting like a bit much, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think the excitement's great. I just feel like it's just another art reception in my mind, and I'll work with you guys to.
But I do know the
Make it all
Chamber's really
happen.
excited about it leading off Pride Week, so.
Yeah.
As I'm sure is Parks and Rec, because it's a great way to start it.
Yeah, and it's great exposure for Chris, I think, to
Oh,
get
yeah,
him in
no,
there
he's
again.
all in.
and-
I think
yeah.
he's
Chris is
perfect
all in.
too. He's just his more of a lean towards pop art and pop
Yeah.
culture, and he's
Yeah.
such a perfect artist to be in there for the
I think so, too.
celebration.
Yeah.
And Janice is going to do the Pride Color Hearts.
Yeah.
However we want
Which
to
is so
handle
fun.
those.
I just love it.
Should we have a volunteer, one person, to sit with you and Whitney and
Yeah.
knock out the
I don't
details?
have to be there. That's fine.
Rather than all
Yeah.
of us? Or?
It's up to you. Yeah, I mean, we can't, obviously, it's not, I don't think this rises to the occasion. That's why I really only included the gallery subcommittee, because I see it really as a gallery program, in my opinion. So, yeah, I kind of focused the
to be that
gallery
person?
subcommittee on it.
Cindy?
Sure.
Okay. But we'll definitely keep everybody in the loop.
Keep us.
Thank you.
Yes, but do keep us in the loop so we know what's going on, too.
Yeah.
Because it's exciting.
Super.
All right. Okay. Mustard.
Thank you. Mustard, it's happening. We're super busy. We've gotten a lot of attention. This magazine is just out with the poster image on it. It's all over Napa Valley to the point of their distribution. It refers people to the website, which has the Mustard Celebration website, which has the calendar. So they'll see the events that we have on, which is something, Marita, you might take a look at and see if you can post some of the literary events. You can post them anytime. If there's anything happening between the window of January through into March, and I'm not sure you do, but if you do, you can get a little mileage out of that.
Okay.
You just go online and it tells you. And what else? We had the opening of the friendship reception, which I think most of you were there. I think we've all been proud. It was super huge, well attended. All the feedback is great. And as Sam mentioned earlier during the budget, we're going to partner with the chamber next year and make it even bigger. And make it really an official kickoff for the Mustard Celebration. So we'll get with Whitney on that and see where the vision goes. It will, however, we'll really want to make sure that it hinges around the gallery and how to manage that for capacity, set up, all of that is yet to be determined. So. The only other thing is I have these little cards. Sam has a big supply of them if you want any extras.
They're really beautiful.
They're really cute.
I
They're
sent a
really
bunch to the
super
chamber
neat.
too with our new
Did you?
maps.
So
Yeah.
cute.
Super. Hand them out if you want more. Sam has a good
Yes.
supply. And they promote, again, they go to the website. The website promotes us and everybody and seeks to expand the celebration every year. That's what we want. to make it
You know,
bigger.
I think everything that everyone is doing really goes to show that, what is it, high tide floats all the boats?
Yes.
It's been everybody coming together with their resources throughout the different organizations. It's just been why everybody's been growing and why everybody's been so successful, I think.
So Art Sip and Stroll, I'm going to jump ahead of Sam, who has all the good information. And just, I'm working with Michael Aronson on getting the poster correctly. We have the first proof, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Did you see that, Cindy? I did. Inside joke.
I didn't see it.
This is the first proof, and usually we can do it in one. However, they put it on this kind of weird paper that's very grainy, and it looks like a very soft image when the image is not soft. So I complained, and then we also picked up on some other little things on this proof that were not consistent with the artwork that Michael submitted. So we're back to the drawing board, but we have time to get it done right. So that's moving along.
Clearly, we'll have to get silver markers for Chris to
Yes.
sign these.
Silver is
That's okay.
silver's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Don't need to add it to the budget.
No.
Good.
No, we're good.
So the artist community is buzzing over Art Sip and Stroll. I know this because I went to a couple of the events, actually several events over the weekend, storm and all. And I think we're going to pick up a couple of new people. I've sent them information. The artists themselves that have done it in the past are so happy. They're encouraging other artists to join us. So I don't know what the update on the list is.
I would try. I can't get on the internet, but I think because I get an email every time somebody applies, so I think we're well over 60 now versus last week, which is more applicants than we've ever had, and we still have 2 weeks about for the application. Then we'll have another. We'll have another bulk email that'll go out this week reminding people, and then again next week. So the jury process will be interesting.
Do we have the dates, the final dates on when the jury is supposed to meet, Sam?
I think, it closes on the 18th, so really, I mean, I can turn that around to the group, and then you can choose to meet. You know, we could just set up a time in that next 2 weeks.
You want to do a Google Calendar or
Yeah,
something like that?
I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, that'd be great. And then the only other question, I think we were talking about Lisa Adams Walker to write us a
Yes.
story. Is she? Have you?
I
talked to
reached
her?
back out to her. I have not heard back yet, but hopefully I'll follow up with her again if I don't hear from her tomorrow. But my email's been not consistent today, so she may have responded.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll use that kind of like for our feature press release?
Yes.
Of sorts?
Oh, great.
Yeah. That we're more in control of than, we obviously the support from the chamber and their team is great, but it'd be nice to have more of an article type press release, I
Well,
think, too.
it's the kind of press release that's going to get us in the paper.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting the information out there really for other writers
Writers
to
to
pick
pick
up
up a
on
story.
and then try
Yeah.
to create a story. So
Exactly.
we'll already have the story.
We did it last year. Rosemary Kimpton wrote the article last year, and it was widely received.
Yeah.
For an event like Art Sip and Stroll, it will help.
need it.
Especially Lisa writes for a lot of the publications that we support and that we send to. So I think her name will be good on the byline. So
Can I
know
share
she's-
the other news?
Pardon me?
Can I share the other news?
Yes, you absolutely can.
So, we've been working for a couple years to get back to the center of town when the year we had over at the community center and then the vintage estate property. And so I had a really great meeting last week with their leadership team, and they are all in. They're so excited, and they're really brainstorming lots of different ways they could activate their property and be involved, whether it's, having their food and beverage, selling things, opening the past Perry Lang's bar area, activating the grass area out there. So lots of ideas that they're kicking around, but they were on the calendar, the front parking lot like we had that year at the very least. So I'm working on the layout so we know going into jurying how many artists we think we can accommodate between the two properties. But, the key is that they're in visual eyesight, and that was probably our best year as far as the artists and everybody feeling good about everything. So, and it makes it easier on us. And the planning committee, the subcommittee agreed at my recommendation, really, let's put the wineries back out amongst the artists and not in a pavilion. So lots of good things moving forward. I'm really excited that, their team is great. They're all, a lot of them are fairly new. A couple of them have been there a little while, but no one really had seen this event happen. So it'll be a really great year. And then I think, the success of it, they will definitely probably be partners into the future. So it was very productive.
Good for you.
Bravo, Sam.
It was good.
So can you also send out a Google Calendar on an Art Sip and Stroll meeting?
Yes.
Maybe after the
jury.
entries, yeah, and
Okay.
before we
Yep.
meet to jury.
Perfect.
So we get an idea of how many tents we can have. Is it your expectation we'll use the Heritage Lawn?
That's up for us to discuss. And some of it, I think in the next week or two, I'll hear back from them more on ideas that they may have. They said the layout I showed them from the past map was fine, but we can maybe do a little more, maybe activate that lawn too, or in the front of the V Marketplace. So there's kind of a lot hanging out there, but,
Right.
The Heritage Lawn, I think could work. It's just, the building blocks off that eyesight to that area. So we'll talk about it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
It also occurred to me that might be a food truck
Yeah.
area. I'd like to keep it activated and in play.
In some way.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, I see where you're going.
All the good reasons, yeah. That's great news. Yay!
Yeah, it is great news.
Yeah.
You never lost the faith, Sam?
I tried not to. I'm like, I'm just every year, I'm just going to keep pounding these people. But, you know, their new ownership and Gary Jabara and Brad, you know, and Brad kind of really, you know, got in there like, we want to do this. And Gary, I think really his intent is to be more community oriented, but with, you know, just a lot of people coming through, it's hard to get your feet under you with that. So I feel like you'd have a good team.
Great,
So,
really
yeah.
great.
Super. Okay, these are all great. Any other staff informational reports, Sam?
Oh, so we have the board commission and volunteer dinner coming up on the 22nd.
was
You
on
should
my
have
list.
received your email invitation for that. It came from Evite. So take a look, and if not, let me know, and I'll send it again.
If you're going to be there.
It's on
might-
February 22nd at 6 o'clock. It's a Thursday, and that's our annual dinner.
And it's always a lovely dinner, too. It
It is.
really
It
is.
should be a very lovely dinner. So let me know. It's obviously you and a guest, and I know there were problems with that at first, the way I set it up.
Just one.
Yeah, so I'm assuming those of you most likely will be bringing a guest, so I've increased your numbers, but I fixed that glitch, so.
Yeah.
might
The
be
only other thing was, there was questions about terms. We still have 4 months on that, but we start early. So if your term is coming up in June, Hillary or I will be in touch, and as we kind of get closer to that and we open it up, and, you know, I always like to check in and see where people are at too.
And there's 4 of us.
There are 4 of the 7 that are coming up in June, so,
Yeah.
which always scares me a lot. Okay,
You didn't get the invite?
I'll go back and look, Judy. It probably went to your arts email.
Did it go to the arts email, you think?
Yeah.
'Cause I just looked through that. When did it go out?
A week, over 2
I
weeks?
think it was a week and a half or so ago. Yeah.
So if we're all going to be there, it might be nice to sit together. We might need a couple of tables or something like that. Just
Yeah, we'll be there.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So.
That was it for me.
Are there any commissioner comments or reports? I have a couple things, if you don't. First of all, I want to mention the crab feed. Samantha, I mean, respectfully, my idea of crab feeds I have gone to is you get a leg of crab, and you get dry spaghetti, and you get a bottle of wine that probably goes up and down one table serving 40. And this was not that. And if you didn't go this year, you should go next year. Do you agree, Judy?
It was fabulous.
It was fantastic, extremely well run,
And the
as
TV
only
was
Sam.
like,
Yeah. That was, the game made it a whole different vibe this year, but thank you. Yes, our Kiwanis team does a great job.
Well, Samantha, we all know. We all know the truth, and you did a fabulous job. It was organized just like, I mean, it felt like the way you do ours. It felt like somehow Yountville Arts was responsible for this, because you were there and some of the other people, and it was fantastic, and
and it looked beautiful.
it looked beautiful.
It didn't look
People-
like a gymnasium school type thing.
And she managed to have the huge TV screen right up in front. I was thinking it might be in the art room or somewhere kind of off, because we wouldn't want to, detour from the auctions and all that. But Sam got right in there and talked over the football game, and it was such a fun evening, and it was just great. It was after the opening of the gallery show. Everybody was happy, just like that evening, and you just pulled it off magnificently. So thank you. It was bravo. It's very cool. You covered Pride Week already. The photo finale, I just want to mention, if you're a photographer, it's still open. This is I grabbed this, the printer was going down, and I call this the Barbie version of Michael's promotion. And I know he's not watching, or he'd kill me that I still have this. But he's getting a lot of entries coming in, and of course, it starts the 1st of March at Jessup Cellars. So if you know of any talented photographers, it's not too late. They can apply until the 10th of February.
It's also a huge event. The turnout, because there's so many different artists, it's just a wonderful event of talented people and community members. It's really fun.
And Jessup is wonderful to work with, as we all know. So, and the only other thing I have is we have a commissioner who has a birthday coming up, and that would be my friend Marita. So everybody wish Marita a happy birthday. And I think we've all agreed there are no ages attached to birthdays anymore, so we're not even going to ask. Anyway, hope you have a nice time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. So is there anything else, or is there a move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then meeting adjourned.